Boys, the fantasy basketball playoffs are upon us, with most leagues starting their playoffs week 9, which is this Monday. I hope all you guys made it. I assume if you're watching this video, you're still in the running. And if you're not, if you're just here for the cheap jokes and the mini hoop highlights, I appreciate you more than you know. And specifically for those guys, don't worry. Fantasy baseball is just around the corner. Okay, before we get balls deep into this though, I just want to say thanks to everyone who has been supporting the channel. It's been a year since I posted my first video, and it's kind of insane the difference a year makes. Like, looking back at that first video, it was just awful, absolutely tragic. I actually kind of cringe looking at it. I legit had no idea how to film, edit, or any of that. But fast forward a year, here we are now almost at 2K subs. Every video pretty much gets around 2K views. I really hope we keep growing. I absolutely love doing this shit. I'm always open to suggestions, criticism, whatever you've got. This might be my last fantasy basketball video for the season. We'll see how it goes though. I might do one more video just strictly for the playoff guys, obviously. But for everybody else, we got to start getting ready for fantasy baseball soon. So I'm going to pick up fantasy baseball here in the next couple weeks as well. I hope you guys all come back. I hope you guys stick with me. If you haven't played fantasy baseball, you definitely should try. But again, I just want to say thanks. Let's get into the video. Okay, so who are the players that are getting added? Who are the players that are getting dropped from Yahoo in the last 2 days? We're going to go over the top 10 players added from Yahoo. And first up, we have Brandon Williams. Now, I talked about Brandon Williams as a bonus guy on that silly season video that I posted a little ways back. When Flag is out, I really do like his game. I think he gets the biggest bump out of all those guards, and I think he should be rostered in 12 league teams. I have no idea when Flag is going to get back. I haven't heard anything about that. Dallas wants to lose. They own their first round pick next year, so they want to get a high pick, hopefully get in that lottery to pair someone with Flag. So I think Brandon Williams' stock is going up to close out the year. Next up, we have Harry Potter. Now, Harry Potter has been really productive in the sub 20 minutes that he's getting on this Pacers team right now, or at least the last handful of games mostly, besides a real clunker in there. He shot around 50% from deep in 3 of his last 4 games though, which I just don't think is sustainable. You don't need to be a rocket science to know that. Potter is in his 5th season now, so I don't think we really expect some crazy jump like we've sort of seen in the last few games there. Nothing in his fantasy game really is dominant. He boards okay. The defensive stats are super sporadic. I think he's really hard to trust unless he's like getting over 30 minutes per night in that Pacers rotation, especially with Huff still in the mix. And I just don't know if we're going to see that from Harry Potter to close out the year. He's a nice speculative ad, but I wouldn't just be banking on that he's going to be some league winner down the stretch. Next up, we have my old Golden State lover, JK Jonathan Kuminga, on the now Atlanta Hawks. So he's finally back healthy. He looked spry. He looked quick. He looked good in his first game back with Atlanta, and really his second game too. And with that Jalen Johnson injury, he's just going to get a ton of run in that Atlanta organization. They're still trying to win games. They want to see how he is. They want to evaluate him. They want to see what he's going to be like in the next couple years, potentially for that team. Again, I've always been a little bit higher on him than most people. I just don't believe he got his fair shot in that Golden State system. Atlanta can develop larger wings. Kuminga is like a must add, I think, everywhere. He's just going to be so motivated to prove himself to close out the year. And if Jalen Johnson misses an extended period for the fantasy playoffs, I think Jonathan Kuminga could just eat. We'll keep going with Noah Clowney from the Brooklyn Nets. Now, I would be a little bit more sold on Clowney if the rest of his game has took a step forward and developed, but he just isn't impactful in enough other categories besides threes and points, at least at this point in his career. The rebounds are meh. The assists are practically zero. The stocks are far and few between. And for 9cat, he can just absolutely fuck you with his bad percentages. He can sink you any given night if he's just letting that thing fly and they aren't dropping, which we've seen and which will happen to close out the year. I'm more on board for a points league ad, but still, I wouldn't be like dying to chase this guy if he's available on your wire. Okay, we'll keep going with Bryce Sensabaugh from the Utah Tankers. Now, with the Lauri Markkanen news, the injury news, I'll put it up on the screen here. It absolutely made me laugh that the NBA is supposedly going to send their own independent doctor doctor to review the MRIs that the Utah doctor did, just because Utah tankers are just such bullshit, trying to ruin the integrity of the NBA with all these phantom season-ending injuries. So who knows if the NBA actually sent somebody there, or what's happening in Utah. Maybe they're just telling, Lori, stay still. I need to break your nose so you can have season-ending surgery, so we stop winning basketball games. I have no idea. Again, I hate it. It's stupid. I know all you guys hate it too, but if Markkanen's actually going to miss an extended time, and he probably is going to, knowing what Utah is going to do, Sensabaugh is going to be the guy that's going to get the biggest bump. When he gets the minutes, when he gets the playing time, he has the green light. He can score. He can hit threes. He's not a great 9-cat guy besides points and threes. That. So just you category guys, beware. Next up is my boy DeJounte Murray. Now, I've stashed this guy all freaking year in one of my main leagues. I held him forever, and it's finally paying off. I'm actually so surprised that he's logged 25 minutes in back-to-back nights and how good he's looked. Now, I know it's not crazy. I know he's not blowing you away, but man, after such a long layoff, after such a devastating injury, the fact that he's out there, he looks quick, his shot looks good, he's active on the defensive end, he's going ham on Twitter saying that they're gonna make the play-in, that they can make the play-in. I don't think they can, but crazier things have happened. I'm just pumped, man. I know a ton of people were down on him, probably just because they didn't stash them in their leagues, saying, yeah, he's gonna suck, he's not gonna play, the Pelicans are gonna limit his minutes to blah, 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 blah. Haters, man, haters are gonna hate. DeJounte looks sick. I'm stoked. If you grabbed him, I'm hopeful, man. He's going to sit out the back-to-backs. But if we're getting 25 minutes already, could be good, boys. Yes, my arch nemesis, Neat Clifford from the Sacramento Kings, who single-handedly destroyed my field goal percentage a couple weeks ago, and I added him. But again, he's going to get some minutes. Keegan Murray looks like he's going to miss a ton of time. The Kings want to lose games. They need to evaluate Clifford as he's their rookie, if he's going to be a part of their future plans or not. He's played a lot better in the last few games. He's looks like he's going to absolutely sink your percentages each week, so he's definitely a better points league ad. But for you categories, guys, as long as he's getting some rebounds, as long as he's getting a ton of steals like he has been, and he's dishing the rock a little bit, like I said in that silly season video, if he can just shoot like close to 40% per night, he'll be very useful, especially when he's getting 30 plus minutes a night on that Sacramento Kings team. We'll keep going with the Scoot Toot Henderson of the Portland Trailblazers. Coming into the year before he had that huge injury, I actually was super high on Scoot. I know Portland wants to give him a good role. They want to give him usage. They want to see what they have in him, as they used a top draft pick to select him a couple years back. That injury absolutely derailed his entire... I can't believe how long he was actually out. Did he have his leg? I have no idea what happened. The hamstring must have tore off his bone. I know it can happen, and it sucks. It's a terrible injury, but it's good to see him out healthy. It's good to see him back playing again. His 9-cat game can be a little rusty. The turnovers can be bad, and his shot, his percentages may not be the best, but I like what he brings, and especially as he gets more comfortable. And I think Portland, again, they're going to keep him in that rotation. They want to see what he has. They know that he is their point guard of the future. Drew Holiday is an old man. He's not going to be there forever. If Scoot can continue to play well, I really do like him as an ad for all 12 league teams. Next up, we got Bilal Coulibaly from the Washington Wizards. Now, I don't know what the Wizards are going to do with the rotation any given night. I don't think anybody knows besides the coach that morning when he puts on his jockstrap, puts on his thong, thinking they're trying to lose a game that night. But regardless of that, if you're in a 9-category league, his stock contributions have been pretty elite over the last couple of weeks, so you definitely want to add him there if you need the stock contributions, because he does have a decent enough fantasy game. He's going to score a little, he's going to rebound a little, he's going to give you a little bit of assists that he makes it worthwhile with those insane stock contributions. For points league, same sort of thing, I guess. His floor is nice because of the stocks. He's not going to dominate in any particular category. He's not going to dominate in a points league, but there is a lot of guys that you can do a lot worse than Coulibaly on the wire. And then we'll finish up with Marvin Bagley III from the Dallas Mavericks. So similar to the Washington Wizards situation, I don't know how confident we can be in Jason Kidd's rotations in Dallas to close out the year, but Bagley has been playing well. He's been scoring. You'd like to see the rebounds be way higher, obviously, for a big man like that. But when he's getting this opportunity, when he's getting the usage, if you need a big man, he's definitely worth a look. I don't think he's going to blow you away again on any particular night. He's not some stud guy, but he could be a very usable center for deeper leagues in need of points, rebounds, and decent field goal percentage. So assuming you're watching this video, you are in playoffs. So we're going to take a look ahead here to week 19, where most people's leagues start for fantasy playoffs in round 1. So the schedule for week 19, ignore me not looking into the camera here. I'm not going to memorize it all. I'm going to look at my screen. So the teams that we want to avoid here are the Hawks. They have the worst schedule, or at least one of the worst schedules, because they're one of only 2 teams with 2 games, and their first one coming on Wednesday. So it's not even like you can get that early game bump on a Monday, Tuesday, drop the player and grab somebody else with a back end heavy schedule. Their first game isn't till Wednesday. So you want to avoid any fringe streamer guys for round 1 and really potentially consider dropping any of them for a man game bump. And then Cleveland is the other team with only a 2-game week. So thankfully you do get an early game on the Tuesday. So you could move off any fringe guys since they don't play again until Sunday if you already have them rostered. So like guys like Sam Merrill and Tyson, you probably want to move off of after the Tuesday game. The Stars, obviously you just have to hold them, cross your fingers, cross your balls, cross your dick, and just hope you get out of that first round. If you got Mitchell, if you got Harden, if you got Jared Allen, Mobley on your roster, and you advance to round 2. Okay, and so those are the main teams that you want to avoid. Pretty simple. 2-game weeks, always going to be a big no-no. So the teams to target here, Utah. So they have a 4-game week with 3 games in the first 4 nights, which is massive because you can move off any of those fringe guys or strictly streamer guys on the Thursday by grabbing someone else with 2 games left in 3 over the weekend. So you just get a massive man game bump there from any of the guys off Utah's. And there should be a lot of options too. Obviously guys like Filipowski, Collier need to be rostered and probably all rostered already in a majority of your leagues. But guys like Sensabaugh should really be considered in even shallow leagues as well. And also check to see if Ace Bailey is floating around there too. And then another good team to target is Washington. Again, same thing as Utah. 4-game week with 3 games in the first 4 nights. I know the rotations have been utterly insane and it is so hard to predict going forward on a night-to-night basis where you have 0% reliability, but it's still worth taking a shot on guys like Carrington, Trey Johnson, and Vucevic. And then another really good schedule is the Clippers. They have a 4-game week and all on off nights or light slate nights too. So you'll have no trouble getting them into your lineup. They're not on any of the heavy nights in week 19. So you're not going to be benching any of them. You're going to get the 4-man games. And it ends on Saturday too. So you do have that Sunday open up for a stream slot as well. So guys like Brook Lopez, Derek Jones Jr. should be in play, and Chris Dunn as well if Garland still doesn't return. And I also just love these matchups too. You got Golden State, Indy, Spurs, and Memphis. Like a terrible group of defenses besides San Antonio for a 4-game slate for the Clippers. Another team schedule that I don't mind is Dallas. So Flag is still not back and it's looking like he might not. We haven't really heard anything about that. So I'm assuming that's probably bad news. But guys like Max Christie, Brandon Williams, Gafford, Bagley, they need to be on the radar. I'm not the highest on it since they do end on a Sunday, so you don't have that open spot. You're kind of handcuffed coming around Friday to hold for that last game, but I wanted to mention them as they're actually a team where there are going to be guys available to stream. Again, I hate talking about teams with like really good schedules where nobody is available or there's nobody worth streaming. It seems just completely pointless in my mind. And then last up, we'll just double it up here with Miami and New Orleans. So in the same boat, 4 games, 3 in the first 5, which isn't great as the early ones, but isn't terrible. But both have awesome matchups. So the Pelicans got the Lakers, Sacramento, Phoenix, and Washington. Nobody is playing defense there. And Miami gets Brooklyn twice, Charlotte, and ends with a hard one in Detroit. But still, I like the schedule. It's weak. So guys like Jones, Fierce, DeJounte Murray, all in play. And then on the Miami side, look for Larson, Hawkes, and maybe Mitchell if you need assist bump. And then if you advance past round 1 for round 2, again, this is just going based off standard league if your playoffs start in week 19. So for week 20, the teams to avoid, or really team to avoid, is the New Orleans Pelicans. They're the only team with 2 games, so that is not good. It's really unfortunate. You're not want to target any of those guys. And if you have them, depending on who it is, besides a couple of their studs, you may want to move off them to try and get yourself into the finals with a man game bump if needed. And then just some teams to target all have 4-game slates. So Philly, Sacramento, Memphis, Golden State, and Brooklyn. There should be an abundance of guys that you can stream from those teams to get a man game bump, to get a 4-game bump. Check to see if it fits within your schedule on light nights, heavy nights. You do that homework for you. I can't do it all in this video because I don't know what your roster is considered of. And if you make it past semis into the finals for week 21, everything is sort of out the window when you get to the finals, because you will drop studs once they have no games remaining, or if they were front heavy and only have one to finish on Sunday for other players, which you normally wouldn't. Remember, if you're in the finals, there's no point holding guys that are struggling, that have no games left in the week, because the season's over after this. So you drop them, move on, depending what your ad drop count is for the week, to get guys in there that are actually going to play and potentially get a man game bump. Just please make sure you plan ahead at the beginning of the week. You want to give yourself the best chance possible here. All right, boys, but I think that's it for this video. Thanks. I appreciate you. Again, fantasy baseball is just around the corner. This might be my last fantasy basketball video as we start getting into the pre-draft stuff for baseball. I hope you guys stick around for baseball. If you haven't played fantasy baseball, you should. It's decent, gets you something to do, keeps you at least activated in the sports world over the dark days of summer that I like to call it, when there's no NHL, no football, and no basketball. Let me know in the comments if you're going to stick around for fantasy baseball. Let me know in the comments how you guys are doing in fantasy basketball this year, if you're in the playoffs, if you're thinking you got a good shot. And as always, have a good rest of your weekend, weekday, night, wherever you are. And I'll see you guys real soon.